It often begins with a moment so small you almost convince yourself it shouldn't matter. A glance, a pause, a shift in tone, a comment that lands differently than intended. You tell yourself you're overthinking, but something inside you tightens anyway. That tightening becomes the quiet doorway through which jealousy enters. Not loudly, not dramatically, but subtly, like a shadow that grows only when you stop paying attention. Jealousy is one of those emotions people rarely admit to, yet almost everyone feels. It's raw, instinctive, and deeply human. But the real question isn't whether jealousy exists. The real question is how to stop it from taking over your mind, your peace, and your relationships. And that's where this story begins, not with blame, but with understanding. The hook is simple. Why do we feel jealous even when we trust someone? Why does a harmless moment suddenly feel like a threat? Why does our mind create stories that our heart never asked for? To understand how not to be jealous, you first have to understand what jealousy actually is. It's not just fear of losing someone. It's fear of losing your place in someone's world. It's fear of being replaced, overlooked, or forgotten. It's fear that someone else might offer something you don't. And that fear doesn't come from weakness. It comes from attachment, vulnerability, and the desire to matter. The first layer of overcoming jealousy is awareness. Jealousy grows strongest in silence, in the moments you don't name what you feel. Imagine you're out with your partner and someone attractive walks by. You notice your partner glance for a second. It's quick, it's subtle, and it's probably instinctive, but your mind reacts instantly. Suddenly, you're not just seeing a glance, you're seeing a threat. You're seeing a comparison. You're seeing a story that hasn't even happened. Awareness means catching that moment before it spirals. It means saying to yourself, I'm feeling insecure right now, not because of what they did, but because of what I fear. That simple recognition shifts the power back to you. The second layer is understanding your triggers. Jealousy rarely appears out of nowhere. It's usually tied to something deeper. A past relationship where you were betrayed, a childhood memory of feeling overlooked, or a personal insecurity you've never fully addressed. Think of a moment when jealousy hit you unexpectedly. Maybe your partner laughed a little too loudly at someone's joke. Maybe they complimented someone without thinking. Maybe they were distracted, and your mind filled in the blanks. The trigger isn't the moment itself, it's the meaning you attach to it. When you understand your triggers, you stop reacting blindly and start responding consciously. The third layer is separating imagination from reality. Jealousy is a storyteller. It takes a tiny detail and turns it into a full narrative. You see your partner smile at someone, and suddenly your mind writes a whole script. They find that person attractive. They're losing interest in me. Something is wrong. But none of that is proven. None of that is real. It's your mind trying to protect you by preparing for the worst. The problem is that this protection often becomes self-sabotage. Learning not to be jealous means learning to pause and ask yourself, what do I know for sure, and what am I imagining? That question alone can save you from hours of unnecessary pain. The fourth layer is rebuilding trust in yourself. People often think jealousy is about trusting your partner, but more often, it's about trusting yourself. Do you believe you are enough? Do you believe you are worthy of love? Do you believe that someone can choose you without needing constant reassurance? When you trust yourself, you stop seeing others as competition. You stop comparing. You stop assuming that someone else's beauty, confidence, or charm takes anything away from you. Imagine standing next to someone who seems perfect in every way, confident, attractive, charismatic. Jealousy whispers, they're better than you. Self-trust replies, they're different from you, not better. That shift changes everything. The fifth layer is communication, not the kind that blames or accuses, but the kind that reveals. Imagine telling your partner, "Sometimes I feel insecure when certain things happen. I know it's my feeling, not your fault, but I want to share it so I can work through it." That kind of honesty builds connection instead of conflict. It turns jealousy from a silent enemy into a shared understanding. And when your partner knows your fears, they can help you feel safer, not by changing who they are, but by being more aware of how their actions affect you. The sixth layer is emotional grounding. Jealousy thrives when your mind runs ahead of your reality. Grounding brings you back to the present. It's the moment you remind yourself, "I am here. I am safe. Nothing is happening right now." Picture a moment when jealousy hit you suddenly. Maybe you saw a message on your partner's phone, or they mentioned someone you've never met. Your heart raced, your thoughts spiraled, your stomach tightened. Grounding is the pause that interrupts that spiral. It's the deep breath that reminds you that feelings are not facts. It's the choice to respond instead of react. The seventh layer is shifting your focus. Jealousy narrows your attention to what you fear. It makes you hyper-aware of threats and blind to everything else. But when you shift your focus to what's real, the love you share, the moments you've built, the trust you've earned, jealousy loses its grip. Think of a time your partner chose you in a way that felt meaningful. Maybe they supported you during a hard moment. Maybe they remembered something small but important. Maybe they showed up when you needed them most. Those moments are evidence. Jealousy ignores evidence. You don't have to. The eighth layer is understanding that attraction is not betrayal. Humans notice beauty. Humans notice confidence. Humans notice energy. Even you do. The difference is that noticing doesn't mean wanting. It doesn't mean choosing. It doesn't mean replacing. Imagine walking down the street and seeing someone attractive. You notice them, but your heart doesn't move. Your commitment doesn't shift. Your love doesn't change. The same is true for your partner. When you understand this, jealousy becomes less personal and more manageable. The ninth layer is choosing security over fear. Jealousy is a reaction. Security is a decision. It's the decision to trust your worth, trust your connection, and trust the love you've built. It's the decision to believe that you don't have to fight for your place. You already have it. It's the decision to stop chasing reassurance and start embodying confidence. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that someone else's beauty doesn't threaten yours. Someone else's presence doesn't diminish yours. And someone else's attention doesn't define your value. That's what emotional security feels like. It's quiet, it's steady, it's powerful. And woven through all of this is the truth that jealousy isn't something you eliminate. It's something you learn to navigate. It's a signal, not a sentence. It's a feeling, not a fact. It's a moment, not a destiny. When you understand where jealousy comes from, you stop letting it control you. You stop letting it shape your relationships. You stop letting it steal your peace. The real secret to not being jealous is this: you don't fight jealousy by controlling your partner. You overcome jealousy by strengthening yourself. Because when you feel secure within, nothing outside can shake you. Love videos like this? Hit like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And stay curious with us. Conceptique, where complex ideas become beautifully simple.